All right, here we go. Learning target for today. I can add and subtract using the standard algorithm. Okay, so good thing you're going to find out what standard algorithm means. It's right here. Okay, so write down your learning target. Remember to pause the video anytime that you need time to write. Once you have the learning target, let's move on to write down the vocabulary. Okay, the sum is an answer to an addition problem. Difference, an answer to a subtraction problem. Standard algorithm, it's a set of steps to solve a problem. Regroup means borrow a number from a larger place value. And carry means to add 1 to the next place value when you have more than 10 in a column. Okay, make sure your vocabulary section's filled in. Then let's check out what these words actually mean. So, the sum, an answer to an addition problem. So the sum of 3 and 4 is 7. The difference is an answer to a subtraction problem. The difference of 5 and 2 is 3. Okay? Standard algorithm refers to, in this case, the standard algorithm for adding and subtracting multi-digit numbers is taking a number like 28, and if you're adding 12 to it, you would write it like this: 28 plus 12, making sure that your ones place is lined up right there, and that your tens are lined up. Okay, that's the standard algorithm. Then you would add them up. 2 plus 8 is 10. 2 plus 1 is 4. It would be 40. But the standard algorithm for adding and subtracting is to line them up vertically. Okay? All right. Regroup. Regroup is when you have to borrow. So let's say you're going to do something like 42 minus 8. So when you do 42 minus 8, you can't, anytime that the top number is smaller than the bottom number, you're going to have to regroup. You're going to have to go to the next place value, which is where the 4 is, and you're going to have to take, the 4 is in the tens place, you're going to have to take one of those tens, so you have only 3 left, and you're going to have to take one of those tens and add it to the 2, and 10 plus 2 is 12. Okay, 12 minus 8 is 4. So regrouping is taking 1 away from here and putting it here. Okay? Now carrying is when you're adding. It's like the opposite of the regrouping. So if you were doing 42 plus 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. You cannot put 10 right there. You can only put 1 digit there. So 42 plus 8, 8 plus 2 is 10. So you have to carry the 1 and only write the 0 there. That's carrying. And anytime you go over 10, the 1 goes into the next column. So then you add the 4 plus 1 and you get 5. So anytime you have a situation like this that goes over 10, you have to carry 1 into the next column. Okay? So you have some examples. Answer your examples on your note sheet. So go ahead and pause the video, answer all of those, and then we're going to move on to the next page, the Y page. All right, if you weren't ready, you better pause the video now. But if you are ready, let's go ahead and do the Y page. So why do we find sums and differences? We find sums to find a total. So if on Monday you find $10 and on Tuesday you find $12, what's the total amount of money you found? It's 10 plus 12. We would add. We would find the sum of that, and it's 22. We also find sums to increase a number. So 10 increased by 12 is 22. We also find sums to find more than a number. So what is 12 more than 10? To get 12 more than 10, we add 12 to it. So 12 more than 10 is also 22. Okay, all three of those would give you this problem of 10 plus 12. Why do we find differences? We find differences to find how many more or less than another number. So what is 6 less than 14? It's 8. We also find differences to find a missing number in an addition or a subtraction problem. So 14 minus what number equals 6? To figure that out, you would do 14 minus 6. So I'd subtract these two numbers. Subtracting those two numbers tells you what number goes here. So 14 minus what number is 6? It's 8. So if you have a missing number, subtract the other two numbers and it'll tell you what the missing number is. We also find differences to decrease a number. What is 14 decreased by 6? Decrease means get smaller. So 14 decreased by 6 is 8. So make sure you have a list of the different reasons we find sums and differences. Make sure those make it into your notes. And you'll be ready for the next page. And the last page. So how do we find sums and differences using the standard algorithm? Okay, first step, decide whether you need to add or subtract. So you're going to have to read the problem and think about what is the way to solve it. Second step, decide which number needs to come first. If you're adding, it doesn't matter, but if you're subtracting, you have to put the correct number first. Third step, write the numbers vertically, one number over the other. Fourth step, when you write the numbers vertically, make sure the columns are lined up on the right. That will put the ones column over the ones column, the tens column over the tens column, and so on. Step 5, add or subtract, starting with the right column, and then moving to the left. Carry and borrow when necessary. So, let's look at some problems here. First problem. 181 minus something equals 163. That's a missing number. I know that to find the missing number, I'm going to have to subtract. 181 minus 163. I know that I'm going to subtract this number minus this number. The bigger number minus the smaller number in this case. I'm going to line up the digits on the right column. And now I'm going to subtract. I have to borrow right away because the top number is smaller. I can't take 3 away from 1. So I have to borrow from the 8. So I only have 7 of those left. And that'll give me 10 more ones. So now I have 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. 7 minus 6 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. And I don't have to write the 0. That means that 181 minus 18 makes 163. Next question. What is 12 more than 10? To get more than a number, I know that you have to add. I know when you add, it doesn't matter what order you go in. So I'm going to line up my digits. Start at the right. Add them up. I didn't have to borrow or carry. So the answer is 22. Next question. Find the sum of 15 and 7. I know that sum means the answer to an addition problem, so I'm going to add up 15 and 7. Now I'm going to make sure I line up my numbers, and this would be adding or lining them up incorrectly. Do not do this because 7 is in the ones place and this 1 is in the tens place, and I can't add the tens to the ones. So this is not correct. Remember, you're supposed to line up the digits on the right side like this. Okay, now I'm adding the ones plus the ones. So 7 ones plus 5 ones is 12 ones. So that means I put the 2 here and carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2, so my answer is 22. All right, now you've got some examples to do. Put these on your notes and then check with your teacher to see if you're ready for the homework. Good luck. See you soon.